Hi everyone, it's Raina. So this video is if you have your sun in Aries and your moon in Leo. And obviously this is double fire, but I thought about what this combination might be like. And I think that it is a bit complicated, even though Aries and Leo form a trine if they are within a certain degree span of one another, and that is the most cooperative angle. And this is certainly not being prejudiced against either Aries or Leo. I'm a sun in Sagittarius myself, so that fire element is very familiar to me and near and dear to my heart. It's just that when you have double fire, the tendency to overdo things, because fire is expansive and kind of aggressive, is very commonplace or to be expected in certain cases. You have to rein yourself in sometimes. Now, Aries is in the sun position, so this is what we look to in terms of a person's goals, a person's direction in life. Um, the fact that both of these are the same element of fire means that the person is going to be aligned with their heart, their mind, and their heart in terms of anything that they do being for the purpose of being able to express themselves as an individual in a free way. Aries is a cardinal sign, so cardinal signs are self starters. Of all the cardinal signs, I think Aries is the least able to take orders from other people. I think the three other cardinal signs can do so a lot more readily than Aries, because Aries is ruled by Mars, and Mars is it can be very willful. I mean, I think Mars rules the will, and that sense of like being uncooperative, not wanting to compromise. I think that could definitely play into an Aries person's way of approaching things, and that can make such a person difficult because other people may feel that they are my way or the highway, that they don't want to obey, if you will. But because Aries is a cardinal sign, you may actually work for yourself. And it probably is best overall that you work for yourself, because it's going to be um, difficult for you to do what other people want you to do. And it just creates more conflict. And the other way of looking at it too is you have your own vision. So that's a big part of it as well. I'm not saying that, oh my gosh, it's terrible that you would probably be better off working for yourself. But sometimes people do find themselves being in a particular position of having to work for somebody else. And in that case, I would ask you to look at what is your attitude in those circumstances. Are you resentful? Do you try to do things anyway, like not listen to what somebody is telling you to do? With the moon in Leo, I consider the moon to be more of the shadow side of a particular sign, because the emotions are engaged and it can create a bit of, I don't know, sometimes even like a fear based reaction to life. I think of reactions a lot of times as rather fear based from triggers. So with Leo, this idea of being seen, being heard, given attention, perhaps in some cases you were not, and that is an emotional need. So with this combination, and being that the sun is in Aries and is the ruler of the first house of the self, Aries is that ruler, the person can have a very self-absorbed attitude. We would call that a narcissist, but there are other things that make somebody a narcissist, not simply being self-absorbed. The malicious angle to me has to be in play as well, where the person is uh, negative towards others in an attempt to have control over the situation. But somebody who's self absorbed, they may be problematic in a relationship, but they might not be overall destructive to other people. So, this combination is really good for somebody who's a hard worker, who's very ambitious, and it can um, almost guarantee success as far as I'm concerned, because such a person naturally has ambition, they naturally have a drive to succeed, and they have the energy, they have the stamina to do so. A person who has Leo as the moon sign has to question why they need attention so much, has to question why they need to feel that they are better than other people. Hopefully, this is not going to be true for 100% of the people who have this combination. I'm sure that it is not, but sometimes when somebody has the moon in Leo, they can tend to be a bit arrogant if they feel insecure. Normally, Leo people do not feel insecure. They are very confident, but with the moon position, there might be something that has given that tendency to the person. I would say that usually this is connected to the family of origin. The mother can be represented by the moon. So if you had a mother who was like a stage mother who was trying to push you into things, um, and was or may have been a narcissist herself, that could have made you feel less um, nurtured. And sometimes people overcompensate for that because they may feel like unloved if they're not nurtured by trying to achieve and by trying to uh, get that attention that they couldn't get from their parent. So being able to see how you come across to others is very important. And of course, look at the rising sign as well for that. This combination can be great for entertainers, people who are before the public in some sort of performance, musicians, dancers, even athletes. I think our professional athletes are entertainers in certain ways. So that could also be what is going on. Aries is very physical. So you, and also very competitive. So you may be somebody who loves sports. And so that could be that combination. But do express yourself creatively, even if you don't do it for a living, because I think it can be very good for your soul. Somebody with the moon in Leo who is not creating is probably creating drama. If you're not creating art, you could create drama very easily, which brings me to relationships. This combination can be very romantic, but you need your freedom too. So you can't be with somebody who is overly controlling. They have to understand that you're a big kid at heart. They have to also provide that. I have seen situations where a fire sign gets involved with somebody who's an earth or a water sign person. And maybe they have inner planets, like in this case, you might have inner planets in Cancer or in Taurus or Virgo. And you may be very, tend to be attracted to people of the water or earth element, and it can quickly devolve into a relationship where they're kind of like the parent and they're kind of always lecturing you about spending too much money, because this combination can definitely be a spendthrift for sure and all of that. But the thing is about you, you might spend a lot of money, but you can earn a lot of money too, just by virtue of how you are, and you're generous to a fault. So please watch out for people who are opportunistic, who try to, take from you, but they're not giving in return. I'm not talking about money, but their energy in some way, because you could find yourself in that relationship, which brings me to a very important point. This is a very lusty combination, male or female. So you may tend to get in relationships where you are, the relationship is very sexual. And in that particular situation, you can be very vulnerable to financial exploitation, because I was going to joke and say you have no oxygen in your head. It's all somewhere else, and you're not thinking properly, and somebody else is calculating, and they know that they can, play you like a Stradivarius. So be very careful about, and also just be careful about if, for its own sake, be very careful about being so one dimensional that you would get involved with somebody just for the sex and have a relationship from hell, which is fraught with all kinds of drama and, negative tendencies in that. And there's emotional draining that can occur, and the draining of your pocketbook too. So anyway, that's what I have for you. I hope that this resonated. If you would like a private reading, the link is below. Take care. Bye.